episode of My Turn podcast. What? What have I done?
I just realised Bilen said I need a wee while the intro.
Well, this is good because now we can
we have
torture
an
him.
awkward intro every time, so I had to say it.
Oh, you said it on purpose? All right, okay, never mind.
Well, hello everyone.
You fooled me. Hi.
Hello, welcome to the fourth episode. This is a sibling-based
It's actually the
podcast.
fifth episode.
Fifth episode.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
right,
I beg your
Erim.
pardon.
You haven't been counting.
No, not at all.
But he has been producing the sound files, and they are numbered.
Yeah,
That is
true.
But in all fairness, it goes sibling 1, sibling 2, sibling 3 on my thing. That's the way the tracks bounce, so that's probably why. Excuse me.
You actually sent me a track called Sibling Rivalry.
I
4.
renamed them, that's why.
Even though our podcast is called My Turn.
Yeah, but it's just the template. I'm sorry. It's just the way it comes out. I'm sorry.
So what are we talking about today, Erin?
So today we're going to be focusing on card games.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about, first of all, Coup, then Joking Hazard, and then finally Skull.
Yay, and all three of these are now firm family favourites.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're going to start with Coup, which was kind of bought as a bit of a wildcard present, I think. And
So who actually owns Coup? I keep getting confused.
I own Coup.
Right, so Bilen owns Coup.
yeah, I think this was another good present by me, wasn't it?
It was another good present by you.
Well done, Erin.
After years
really
of
good.
buying a Toblerone on the day before Christmas and not even wrapping it up.
Erin's favourite present to buy for years was going to Thornton's and just getting you a chocolate with your name on it.
It's all right. In the last couple of years, I've got a bit better. And
Yes, you have.
Thank you.
Fantastic
I'm
now.
making it up. But anyway, yeah, so Coup was a card game created in 2012 by designer Ricky Tata. I hope I'm saying that right.
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah, so it's quite a short card game involving getting 2 cards, and each card will have a certain character with certain powers on it. And the aim of the game is basically to take out your opponents and be the only person left with cards. So yeah, shall we talk a little bit more?
Yeah,
in
let's
detail?
do that. So you own the game, Bilen.
I own the game.
So yeah, so is there anything else in description that?
Yeah, so it's set in the dystopian universe from another game, I think, called Resistance.
Yeah,
something
that's
like that.
right. Yeah.
I think it's actually meant to be based in Italy, from what I read.
I think
based on
it's a
Italian politics
futurist.
or something.
Well,
Yeah,
yes,
so it might be a
because of the
sci-fi futuristic Italy, but it's
Yeah.
certainly set in a dystopian universe that's used for other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is a really massive card game series which I haven't played, but it's called The Resistance. Bilen's right, and there are lots and lots of versions and add-ons and things that you can get with The Resistance. If you look that up online, there's just loads and loads of it, and the artwork's it's all the same artwork. It's really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. So is that something you can actually expand on particularly Coup, or is it
No,
different?
it's a different thing, but it's part of the same, as Bilen says, I think part of the same wider universe.
I think there might actually be a Coup expansion as
There
well.
is a Coup expansion, yeah. Now,
What's that? Just to more players, or?
Yeah, and it makes the game last longer. So how long roughly does the game last?
Oh, how
It's
long
quite
does
quick,
it last?
really.
It is pretty quick. It's what, like 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Sometimes
even
not
that,
even.
Yeah, not even
Yeah.
that sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if people start working together, like the
Southern
Southern
Alliance.
Alliance.
Yeah. Oh gosh, over Christmas, I was never in the Southern Alliance. I kept getting screwed over by these guys.
Well, who coined the term Southern Alliance?
I think it was
Not
Bubba,
me. No,
in
I
all
think it's our
fairness.
mum.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Oh no, maybe.
Maybe it was Sherry.
Yeah, it might have been Sherry. It might have been Auntie Sherry.
But wasn't that a completely separate thing, that we became the Southern Alliance because of Catan? And then because everyone was like, oh no, they're the Southern Alliance, we decided, okay, yeah, we'll use that name and work together.
Yeah, so for anyone who wants to try the game, it does kind of work if you've got pre-allegiances, if there's enough of you.
Yeah.
It really pisses everyone else off.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because even when the other 3 or 4 players are united, we still couldn't take you out. You were just so crafty with your use of cards.
Yep.
I mean, I think what we haven't talked about is the skill involved in lying with this game, so maybe we could touch on that.
Well, no one actually sees your cards other than yourself. So when you actually announce the certain powers, you don't necessarily have to show your card, and people can call your bluff. However, if they do call your bluff and they're wrong, they lose a card. If they're right, then you lose a card of your choice. So say, for example, you've got someone like an assassin and you try to assassinate someone, or say, for example, sorry, you haven't got an assassin, but you say, I'm going to assassinate someone, they can either accept that and lose a card, or they can challenge that. And I think in that case, they'd lose 2 cards and be out of the game straight away. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah,
you lose a card for the incorrect assertion that you don't have an assassin, and you also get hit by the action of being assassinated.
Yeah.
And I think there's only a finite amount of cards as well. I believe 4 of each.
No, 3
maybe
of each.
3 of each.
That seems like too much.
But you can actually call anyone on anything that they say. So if you're being assassinated, you don't have to be the person who says, oh no, you don't have an assassin. And also there's actions that you can take on other people's goes to stop them from stealing, or to stop them from getting extra coins on their go, or even to stop an assassination which doesn't involve you at all.
And that's when things like the Southern Alliance became really annoying, because people were working together going, well, I know you haven't got a duke because I've got 2 dukes. So, and we've already killed a duke. So, you know, you can kind of, there is a bit of deduction there, but it also helps if you've got a team working together.
And it's always annoying at the beginning of the game, because the first 3 players pretty much can say, oh, I've got a duke, 3 coins, please, or 3 points, please.
Yeah, because
it's
the
just
duke,
really hard to...
It collects, is it foreignate? What is it that the duke collects? It collects more coins, tax, that's it.
Yeah. So basically, I think every turn you can collect one coin.
Yeah.
You can then also do foreign aid, which means you collect 2 coins, but you don't necessarily need a special card. However, there are cards that do stop that, and someone can prevent you from getting those coins.
So what are the ways to win this game?
So, well, basically, you need to destroy everyone's hand.
So what's the benefit of the coins?
Oh, so if you save up 7, you can actually use a coup and basically take out one of the player's cards. Also, I think is assassin you have to use a certain amount as well, like 3?
I think it's 2 coins for an assassination.
2 coins, yeah. So for using certain powers as well, you need to spend.
So the coins enable actions, so it's good to get some coins in.
Yeah, I mean, generally your actions involve either getting coins, stopping people from getting coins, or spending coins to kill people.
And I think that the fact that you only need 7 coins to start a coup kind of helps the game stay shorter. And that's one of the reasons we like it, so we can play multiple rounds of it. We were on holiday recently, and I think at one point we played 6 rounds of it, maybe 7. One of those nights, we played a lot of Coup because the parents really like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if this sounds complicated, it's
really
isn't.
not. It's such an easily accessible game, and setup's really quick. It's literally just giving 2 cards to each player, and it's addictive as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's surprising how addictive it is for such simple gameplay, really, which is a big credit to the game, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And for families like ours, it's definitely one of those ones that gets you all a bit irate, but in a fun way.
Yeah,
because the games are so short, you can't get angry for that long because you'll start the next round pretty quickly.
Yeah. All right, so shall we wrap up and move on?
Yeah.
So what do you guys feel? Rating out of 10?
Oh, let's give this one, I'd say a 9.
9 out of 10. Gem?
Oh, that's high. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 9 because it's easy to play, it's quick, it's fun, and my whole family are very competitive, and it makes it even better. All right, so now on to Joking Hazard. So, Bilen, would you like to introduce?
Yep, so Joking Hazard is made by the people who do Cyanide and Happiness, which is a really good webcomic. And if you don't read it, you should, unless you get upset by webcomics being a bit mean.
And rude.
And rude.
And violent.
And violent.
They also, it's worth saying, they do have little animations as well. So they actually have a kind of cartoon.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's very funny. Yeah, so they started a Kickstarter campaign back in February 2016, so a little over a year ago, and the whole thing was funded in half an hour, and then it went on to become one of the most heavily overfunded things on Kickstarter ever.
What, the campaign was for what?
For Cyanide and Happiness Joking Hazard.
Oh, for the game. For the
game itself, yeah. So the card game itself is a bit like Apples is Apples or Cards Against Humanity, where each round someone takes the lead and plays a card or 2 cards to set up a scenario, and then all of the other players play their card or cards in order to complete the scenario. And in this case, it's a comic strip. So it's usually you get 2 panels of a comic strip and you have to set up the 3rd panel.
Yeah.
And whoever's the round leader then chooses their favourite. And they're usually really, really hilarious.
Yeah.
And so I got this on the Kickstarter campaign. One of my friends pointed it out to me when they saw how it had reached its target really quickly. So I thought, oh, I know who'll like this. Jem will like this.
Yeah, so I got it for Christmas. Yay!
So, this was a secret from Jem. I bought it on the Kickstarter campaign in February and I held on to it when it got shipped in August or September.
Yeah.
And she didn't know what was coming, but I gave it to her in December for her birthday. And, we had a great time over Christmas period playing it. And there's different modes.
Many lols.
Yeah. One of the alternative modes is the marathon mode, where you just keep adding panels to a stupidly long comic strip.
Yeah, so we took up a whole table we just kept it. You extend and extend and extend the story until one player runs out of cards. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you all start with a
what,
bigger amount of cards.
When you run out of cards, that's it. You've won. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Normally it's a points limit, but in the marathon mode, we played until all the cards were gone or until everyone.
No, I think that's right because you can't run out of cards if the cards you're putting down mean the story doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And the fun thing about the big marathon story is that everyone else around the table can vote on whether they think your card makes sense with the story or if your card's good enough. Or so you, in that case, if you can't put a card down, you have to pick some up. So that's why it lasts such a long time. So once you've run out of cards, I think you have won the story.
And that's why our table was completely taken up by
a whole dining table.
Quite a great
300 cards. It was the full standard plat plus at least one expansion.
Yeah, there was an expansion in there. That was really, really funny.
It was even funnier when Jem narrated the whole thing on video.
Yeah, and that is somewhere online for people to see. I did narrate the whole video.
Oh, brilliant. We should include a link of that, definitely.
Yeah, if we can. I think it's on Facebook.
Yeah. Definitely on Facebook.
Yeah, that was really, really funny. So it's a really, really simple concept, but I absolutely love it. So thanks again for getting it for me. Because basically the whole thing is the 2 guys, the blue and green, and they're just having conversations, getting in various hijinks, doing rude stuff.
Taking their dicks out.
Taking their dicks out quite a lot, farting quite a lot, punching each other. Sometimes they get like cutlasses out of nowhere or a chainsaw. It's really funny. And this has been really popular with everyone that's played it. I think it's really accessible.
Have you had a chance to play it with more people as well?
Yeah. Like all my friends that have played with me games over Christmas and New Year. We took it to Shen and Matt's, to our cousins. They absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Everyone really likes it.
How long's gameplay then?
Do you remember?
So
I'm having so much fun, I don't care.
The standard game's probably about half an hour if you play to points, but you can just keep playing to any points limit you like.
Yeah.
Or
so
you can just play for a time limit.
Then.
Yeah, so it's play for as long as you like, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are a few cards as well where you can add your own text. Because a lot of them don't have any dialogue, but some of them do have speech bubbles.
Yeah.
Which are gags, which can be gags depending on where you place them.
Yeah.
And a few of them have space where you could add something.
So what, you'd literally just write it on the card and it will be
there?
there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we were using Post-it notes, weren't we?
We were doing that so we could reuse the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a sensible idea.
So yeah, that's what I'd recommend because it's quite funny.
Yeah.
You can use wipeable markers as well. That'll work because they're quite shiny cards.
Yeah, they're kind of not laminated, but that kind of plasticky, durable stuff. We definitely spilt something on them at one point and they're fine, so that's a good sign.
Well, is that a surprise? Don't we spill something everywhere?
Oh, whenever we get together, there's something spilled pretty much, isn't there? Yeah.
Our nicknames are Spills It Armets.
Yep.
Because we always spill things.
But the cards aren't too damaged?
No, they're fine.
Oh, perfect.
Just said that.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
And I've got an entire spare pack because when I bought it on the Kickstarter campaign, I got 2 packs.
Hey.
Ooh.
That's good. That's family safety for you.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you did that on purpose. It's really good actually. Something that's just occurred to me is that we have between us bought quite a few indie games that have either been kickstarted or presented to us at like an event like Comic-Con and stuff like that. And it's really good that these things are coming to the forefront a bit more. So you've got the option to invest in someone's idea.
Yeah.
And this has turned out really well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good. Yeah, you're exactly right. That there are these companies that aren't necessarily in the mainstream that are really starting to develop, and it's good to see, people with ideas really just be able to push themselves and create amazing games out of it.
Yeah, and I think like it wouldn't have worked for this one, but the sort of self-printing option, print and play, that Cards Against Humanity did, and also the game we talked about a few weeks ago, Secret Hitler did, means that you can kind of publicise the game if it's good and also try it out for free.
Yeah.
In a really accessible way.
Yeah.
I like it. I think this is good. I think card games are getting a whole new lease of life.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we said before, the whole kind of analog board game and card game seems to be coming back, which is really, really good. And I know more and more people that are starting to take to it as well.
Yeah.
Right. So shall we round up?
Yeah.
Joking Hazard out of 10.
I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 because I love it. And I haven't met anyone who's played it who hasn't loved it.
Good stuff.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Why, Bilen?
Well, it drops a mark because it does rely on the people you're playing with being fun.
That's very true.
Oh, so you think if you play it with someone who's boring or has no sense of humour, it won't work?
Yeah, or if they just don't have crude sensibilities.
Fair point.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because I haven't actually experienced playing it fully yet. But when I did come in and the marathon mode was being narrated, I beg your pardon, I was in stitches. So I already know it's the kind of game that I'd really love.
Cool.
So let's move on to our next one, Skull.
Okay, so this is a game that I was bought for my birthday, and we had to look up whether this qualified as a card game or not, but in the description it says it is a card game.
Even though it's played with beer coasters.
It's kind of played with beer coasters. That's a really good summary of what they look like. So this came out in 2011, but it's one of those ones, I think it's a French publisher, Asmodee, I think. So that it's one of those ones that's just gained momentum over here. It was initially published under the name Skull and Roses, I think, but here in the UK it's called Skull, and it's kind of like, I kind of want to say mini poker, but with flowers and skulls. So you have this little kind of beer mat, as Bilen said, and then smaller beer mats that fit on top of it, and your beer mat is your game board and also your counter, and you only need to get 2 points to win this game. And the idea is that you gain a point by challenging someone on how many cards you can pick out without finding a skull.
Yeah.
So every player starts off with 4 flower cards and 1 skull.
Yeah.
And you can lay those down, face down, in any order around the table as you go round. So it's a one at a time laying process. So that sounded like a chicken farm then. One at a time laying. But you go around the circle and you can lay a card or choose to not lay a card. And if you choose to not lay a card, then you have to challenge. And you can say, I can pick, say, 3 cards without finding a skull. So it becomes, the reason I say it's a bit like mini poker is that it becomes about people having tells. And you look out for each other's tell of when they've laid a skull or when they haven't laid a skull, and how cocky they're looking about how many they're going to challenge. And if they challenge 3 and you're feeling confident, you can challenge 4. So it's a really, really good game of sort of bluffing and trying to outsmart each other.
Yeah.
So one of the important details is you have to turn over all of your beer mats first before moving around the table to get to your contract, which means if you've laid a skull and you're saying, oh, yeah, I can get through my entire deck and then move on to someone else's, you better hope someone's going to outbid you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that's the other thing. So you can bluff by, and I've done this quite a lot, like say I've got 2 down and I know I've got a skull in that pack, so I would have to turn over my 2 first.
Yeah.
I might challenge 3 because I know that someone's going to think I'm confident because I don't have a skull, so they might say 4.
Yeah.
So you can work it to your advantage, but you do occasionally get caught out. And when I play with my boyfriend, he seems to always know.
Does he?
He's just ruthless. Yeah, he's ruthless. He's so good at it. We played about 2 weeks ago, and there was 3 of us, and he won every single round, and we were getting so annoyed with him. Yeah, he was just ruthless. Like every time we tried to say challenge, he just had a skull and we just couldn't tell when he'd put one down and when he hadn't.
Yeah.
It's just, so we lost on the basis of we kept challenging to try and get points. And when you, I should say, when you challenge and your challenge fails, you have to lose one of your cards.
Yeah.
And you lay them out face down in front of you, and the person who beat your challenge takes one away, but you don't know, or then they don't know, whether they've taken away a skull or a flower.
Yeah.
So you'll only know when you pick your cards up again, and you have to, so say you haven't got any skulls left, you have to kind of pretend you've still got skulls.
Yeah.
You've got to kind of,
so
put on the
even
bravado.
more bluffing then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you played it, Erin?
Yeah, no, we've played it a few times. I think the last time we played it, it was again around Christmas time, and I think I actually won a couple of games at it.
Yeah.
I think I challenged to doing like 6 or 7 pickups, and yeah.
I think it's good. It's a 3 to 6 player game, and when you have 6, which we did at that point over Christmas, it's really good because there's loads of cards going down.
Yeah, it does make it quite a fun challenge.
Yeah. How did you find it, Bilen?
I thought it was really fun. Very simple concept, easy for people to get on board with, and yeah, it's quick. You can play lots of games. You do have to learn how people play in order to get really good at it. I think
it's definitely one of those that you play probably 2 or 3 rounds before you get into the rhythm of that particular group of people. And then you'll get someone like Alex who'll just win every round, and you'll be like, no.
Has he just got a very good poker face then?
He just always looks like he's up to something, so you can't tell when he's not. He's just really good at it. Yeah. But he says he's never played poker, so I don't want to play poker with him now.
Well, if he can, play against other people and bring you the winnings.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, maybe I'll just ship him out as a poker player. Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks, Erim.
Give him a montage. He'll be great.
Cool.
Okay,
well.
So,
one more thing to say about the game. It's really, really pretty.
It is indeed very pretty. Like we were saying before, the art on the beer coasters is just very lovely. It's
they're not actually beer coasters. You probably don't want to use them as beer coasters, but they look like beer coasters.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to use them as beer coasters because they'll get marked, and then you'll be able to tell which is which without turning it over.
Well, that's a really good point, Bilen. So we need to be really careful with this game because the spills it are met. Yeah.
The one with the tea stains, the skull then.
Is it like a Mexican Day of the Dead style
theme?
Yeah.
So the skulls are, kind of, they've got sort of ornate decorative stuff all around them, and the flowers are really nice.
Yeah, I don't know why, it makes me think of like kind of Oriental art, the flowers. I don't know why, it just reminds me.
Yeah, it feels more sort of Mexican to me, but I don't know. Maybe it's fusion art. Who knows?
Fusion art.
Cool, should we round it up?
Yes, indeed. So, out of 10, Gem?
I'm going to give it, for a quick card game, I really like it, so I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay.
I'm going to give it an 8.
And I'm going to agree with that. An 8 is very easy to pick up and play. It's nothing too crazy, but that also makes it more accessible for everyone. So yeah. So if you want to check out a quick bluffing card game, go for it. Oh, quickly. Sorry, how long does it last around?
Oh, not very long. Like maximum 20 minutes, I'd say. Sometimes it's over really quickly because you only need to get 2 points.
Yeah, nice and quick then.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we round up then? What have we been playing recently?
Is that all 3 games done already?
That's all 3 games.
Wow, we've been so efficient. Wow, we're amazing. Okay, what have we been playing recently? Well, there's a game we've been playing a lot of yesterday.
King of Tokyo.
So, we've been playing King of Tokyo, which I bought for Erim for his birthday.
Yes, indeed, my birthday.
And how would you describe it, Erim?
So, basically, it's a mashup of all your favourite super monster creatures like Godzilla and King Kong, basically trying to fight to control Tokyo. And you just have to battle against each other. So you each take a guy, I'm going to call it. My favourite was Gigazor, who's a bit like King Kong, but more awesome.
Gigazor's nothing like King Kong. The king is like King Kong.
He's like Godzilla.
That's the one.
I mean, we should say they're not actually these monsters. They're kind of based on those monsters.
But they're clearly based on them.
Yeah, except... What is the space penguin called? Is it just space penguin?
Space penguin.
Yeah, that one is random. Everyone else is kind of a monster you sort of recognise.
Cyber Kitty.
Oh, yeah, those 2 are random.
Okay.
And what about Alienoid?
Alienoid is like your archetypal Martian, isn't he?
What, a giant kaiju Martian?
Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't say that's archetypal because
You know when in the old days when you had like Marvin the Martian and stuff, they all kind of look like that.
Yeah, but they weren't the size of buildings.
Well, this one is. He's eating a lot of Martian food.
But anyway, yeah, so the point of the game is to try and take over Tokyo. And there's two ways of doing it. Either by getting to 20 victory points or by taking away all your opponent's health. So when there's someone in Tokyo, they can't actually heal themselves. There's different. So you roll 6 dice, and it's got different instruction on the dice. So it can be things like getting energy, attacking your opponents, or trying to get victory points by getting a series of numbers. So say, for example, 3 2s or 3 3s will give you 2 victory points or 3 victory points respectively.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you're in Tokyo, you attack everyone. And when you're outside of Tokyo, you're attacking the person in Tokyo. The person in Tokyo can't heal. So even though it's kind of the place you want to end up,
because you get more victory points when you're there.
Yes, you do. You get 2 every time it comes back around to you.
Yeah.
And you also damage all of the other monsters rather than just damaging one with your attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bilen summed it up yesterday as a red v blue kind of damage strategy, whereas if you're in one side, you damage everyone.
Yeah.
If you're in Tokyo, you damage everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't explain that very well. Red v blue. Red v blue. And it's a 2 to 6 player game.
Yep, 2 to 6 player. But I think when it comes to 6 players, you actually include another part of the game, don't you? It expands a bit.
There's just another little area on the board. It's called Tokyo Bay.
We haven't actually played with that.
No, we've only ever had 4 people when we've played it, so we don't know how that works. Really.
Or 3.5 when Jem goes home early.
Oh yeah, I had to go home early yesterday, but I did play a whole game beforehand. It's super fun though. It says it only takes 30 minutes, but I don't think we've ever done it in 30 minutes.
No, it doesn't seem like that quick, really, because there is a. You do have to sometimes stop and think about what would be the best action. Because, say, for example, you're rolling your dice, you actually get the opportunity to re-roll another 2 times. So you can obviously
say you need more hearts, you can roll for more hearts, to get your health back, for example.
And you can be quite tactical in that and think, oh, is it likely I need more victory points, or should I hurt people more, or do I need to heal more? So it's not so quick fire. There is a bit of thinking, not anything too crazy, but...
And then there is a card element where you can buy cards with your energy cubes,
which then gives ages reading the cards.
Yeah.
And it gives you kind of a superpower, doesn't it? I guess it's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, it can give you additional powers and properties and things.
Yeah.
Cool. So what would we give this game out of 10 then?
This game out of 10?
We should say this came out in 2011 and there is a brand new kind of newer version of it called King of New York. That came out, I think, at the end of last year or the beginning of this year. I can't remember.
Okay. That'll be interesting to try, actually, because I really like this game. I think the first time of playing it, I got a bit frustrated because I kind of just went in and died. But now I've got a bit more used to it. I'd say I'd give it an 8, potentially 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's really good. I'd give it an 8. I really like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's not too hard. It's actually something you could play with younger players as well.
Yeah.
I'd say an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all roughly in agreement. Wow.
Good stuff. That's the first. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. That's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in to My Turn. We'll be back again next week where we'll be talking about fitness games and putting our resident athlete to the test of whether a game is fit or shit. Cool. Have a good day. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.